This episode was recorded at Lavar, 9 Walter Street, Rosebank, Johannesburg.
DJ Lemonka is dressed by Tall Boy Wear. Find them at 10A Goldman Street, Florida, Johannesburg.
I had artists that I had created platforms for telling me, yo, Jay, I cannot mess with you right now. Or fail, you know? So I was like, oh, there are babies, give squad I can't bring. I'm gonna hurt them. I love marketing, bro. I love selling. So I already knew what to do. So on a Monday, I know Fresh is back, right? I called all the girls that I was dating. Get it?
Jack,
What's up?
chilling with it.
How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Sab.
Are you good?
I've been.
Okay. Yeah. You are one of the first people that I met Mojozi while they were buzzing,
Yeah.
and I'll talk about it later. Just tell the viewers, Kwena mang, o tlhaga kae, o goletse kae, o bo fudugela kae.
All right.
And yeah.
Ke nna Tlhakile Kganyane. Everybody knows me as J Stash, Stashino, Stash Money Million. I would say I used to be a hip hop artist. I haven't made music in a while. I think that's how we know each other, you and I. And we come from the entertainment industry. I'm the owner and founder of a fashion brand called Poi Poi. And I run a branding company which does corporate clothing. It's called Hot Boy Productions. I think when we met, Hot Boy used to be the company doing the business, the events, you know. So I've always liked pushing the hustle. I just didn't know how to turn it into a business when we were young, you know. It was just putting everybody on and just being a part of the hype. Yeah, but now we've grown. We kind of like understand what needs to be done. And I'm at a point in my life where I'm just putting my hands in and getting them dirty. Yeah, using everything I've learned in the past years that you've known me. Yeah.
Dope. Where did you grow up?
Okay, it's kind of tricky asking me where I grew up. I was born in Soweto.
For real?
Yeah, I was born in Soweto. A lot of people don't know that. And then Kaplomako Tembisa. And unfortunately, at the age of 11, Ltaima, he took us out of the hood and we went to Midrand.
What do you mean, unfortunately?
Because now you are seen as this cheese boy. You are a black kid who's trying to fit in a white-only suburb. And then when you go back to the township, the black kids are treating you differently because you are privileged. You know, so I guess privilege was a gift and a curse, you know, because I had to experience the hate that white people had against black people. I experienced that. I got beaten up by white kids. I got harassed by the police, you know, so it was, in as much as my father felt like he was trying to do good for us, it came with a whole lot of pain. So unfortunately, but it taught me so much, man. There's so much beauty in exposure. Yeah, so I got to learn so much. I got to understand how the white white kid thinks, how the black kid thinks. I was just stuck in the middle. Yeah.
And Gela, primary, middle school, high school, or Gilizeva?
I started go Sotlwana Primary School in Tembisa. I left the hood. I was 9 years old. Then I got dropped on Joburg CBD, and then I got exposed to schooling in the middle of town, in the center of town, when Joburg was a buzz. It was beautiful. It was clean, you know. And I got to experience befriending kids from other areas, Soweto, Kagiso, Foslo. You know, I think I was in school with Dineo Ranaka's sister, older sister Manaka. You know, and then I went to Irene. So I just kept meeting all these different people. I was like a nomad changing schools, basically. Yeah.
Oh. When did you first meet hip hop?
Yo, I think I was 9 years old. I was watching TV. I was at my uncle's house, and then there was a video that came on. It was some rapper, some American rapper. He was on a horse, and then the song was like the Wild Wild West. And years to come, I realized there was Cool Mo D. Is it Cool Mo D? I'm not sure. Yeah.
Cool Mo D, yeah.
Yeah, and after that song, it was I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. LL Cool J. And after LL Cool J, I moved into liking MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, up until a friend of mine, a late friend of mine, Tebogo Motaung, I went to visit his house. I was 12 years old, I think 12 or 13. He lived in Noordwijk. So we were best friends as kids. I went to visit his house and he was playing Dr. Dre, The Chronic. And I could say that album, it changed my life, but it also polluted my mind. Because when you listen to The Chronic, it's very vulgar. You know, it degrades women, but also it's a conscious album because it speaks on the black struggle, black empowerment, and the black people in the US standing for their rights. You know, so it had that rebellious tone to it. And I think as a kid, I was a rebel, you know, so I could relate to the project. And then as I grew older, I met this guy in high school. We went to Littleton Manor in Littleton, which is in the Centurion area. This big fat guy, he's limping, he's walking with a swag, and he says his name is Fat Boy. And he plugged me onto guys like Tribe Called Quest, Redman, the Notorious B.I.G. And this guy, we used to freestyle during break time and we would record ourselves. In years to come, he blew up. They now know him as Stogie T. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So he taught me a lot. I got to understand what an MC is. You know, I got to know so much about hip hop. When we met, I was like, yo, dude, do you know Snoop Dogg? This guy introduced me to a Tribe Called Quest, and I'm asking him if he knows Snoop Dogg. Yeah, so it was
That's
crazy.
funny.
Yeah,
What?
it was crazy.
So at what point now do you think, let me record?
I think the recording came at a later stage, you know? Actually, no, it started in high school. So I used to go to some school in Kempton Park, right? And So I'm from Tembisa. Most of the kids that live in the townships that go there are from Tembisa. So there were different crews that we formed. One was Invaders, there was Casinovics, there was Hypergenics. We were just crews and we formed a squad called Infinity Squad. So what we would do is, I think I was 16 years old, we would go to Musica, we buy a CD single because it would have an instrumental. Nobody was making beats at the time, like amongst our circles. You buy a CD single of whichever song, and then we would use my father's tape deck. I knew how to manipulate the whole thing, and then we would record music and make songs on tape. Yeah, so I was 16.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then, who made your first beat and what did you record?
So my first beat was a former friend of mine. It was a gentleman called.
Don't call his name yet unless because it was a YLF former. If you are not ready to talk about YLF, don't mention his name. If you are ready, we can go.
Okay, I won't mention his name because I don't want to give a reason why. Because I'm not the type of guy that I'm on a public platform and I'm talking bad about the next person.
Sure.
That's not me. So I'm not gonna tell you though. I'll mention his name. It's important. I want to give him his credit. I want to give him his credit.
Okay, let's give him just the flowers.
Yeah, he was a very instrumental person in my life. You know, he was a very important person in the shaping of my career. You know him, Hilton Debza. You don't remember Hilton?
I'm shocked that he's your former friend.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been friends for over 20 years.
Because most of the time when I was with you, it was the three of us.
Actually, coming to think of it, because you were also there when we were
My first studio session was with you, him, and you.
Yeah, and when we were doing the Madiba song.
Yeah.
And it was Bokuli.
Yeah.
We had Boamu, Selvin,
Notende.
Mexoba, Notende, Selvin,
Yep.
Omen, Fortune Masina.
Yep.
Damn, dude, I even forgot about that song. Wow, yeah. So Hilton, he made my first beat. We were in his bedroom, go Davidson. I would go sleep over at his house here, the bedroom studio. Sometimes Lyra would join us. This was before Lyra blew up. So it was a song called What? And I started performing that song. I think Naked DJ was the first guy to play that song on radio, on YFM. The song it used to go like, it's J Stash cause you're feeling my what? It's J Stash cause you're feeling my what? Hilton did some Slum Village, J Dilla type of
Beat.
production on it. It just sounded so international. So what happened with that song is, I mean, I would go to Ghetto Rough. I'm like, guys, can you manage me? Can you plug me? Can you do something? Because I was an independent artist. And they said, you just sound too American. We cannot push you. You know, so at the time when I came out, there was no room for English rappers. Yeah, there was no room.
Quite was buzzing.
Quite was buzzing. House was buzzing, you know? But that song had a special place in my heart. It allowed me to get out there and to really sound better than a lot of guys. The production, it sounded better than a lot of guys. It opened doors for me. And for the fact that I got in the game with an independent mind, I knew how to manipulate the game, you know. It was not just about being an artist, it was about building the culture. At the time, there was no culture as it grew to be. You understand? We were on our own. You know, everybody was just trying to come up. Jabba was trying to come up. You were trying to come up. You know, and you and Jabba were still trying to figure yourselves out, actually. You know, and we were creating home for hip hop. You know, we used to we used to book venues. We were already negotiating with venues when at that time hip hop hadn't been, it wasn't an industry, so it was just more than the music, man. It was lifestyle. It was just, to us, it was just lifestyle.
So one of the reasons for this podcast is we don't capture what you've done in
Yeah.
the past. But I've seen you with a camera back in the days. Where is that footage?
I paint like in Kutsabhloku, Lemonka, that we don't have that footage. Like in Kutsabhloku, I actually have some of the footage. You remember the rain show events?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got that footage with all of us on stage, with Jabba on stage, with Squatter Camp on stage. I forgot what they used to call those events. I think Fortune, it was part of the album rapper thingy, I have some footage, I even have footage of me and Slicker freestyling at my parents' home, with me and Squatter Camp chilling at my parents' home. That's how it was back in the day. This was before, like, people knew who I was or whatnot. We were just behind the scenes making things happen.
This is crazy because
Yeah,
you guys clearly were homies. But I remember the blow up.
yeah,
The blowout, like the beef.
yeah. So
And this should supposed to come in the end, but since you are here, how did friends become foes?
enemies. Look, I will tell you this, Lemonka. I think when I was young, you would know this. I was a very arrogant guy. I had a big ego, and I was pompous, man. I was popular, and so I didn't come in the game begging. You understand? I didn't come in the game trying to get put on. I was putting niggas on. You get what I'm saying? So I think I've never really spoken about this, man. So what happened is, this was 2004.
Yes.
A few things happened. It's three things, actually. Three things happened. It was a Slicker incident, and it was some girl that I was dating incident, and it was these YFM DJs incident.
Yo.
So me and Squatter, we were cool. We used to go to each other's parties. If they have a big event, they put me and my team on the guest list. And then if I have an event, I put them on the guest list. I actually learned so much from Lebu. I used to roll with him. He would be, you remember back in the day for videos on TV, to play on TV, you would be dropping a beta tape.
Yes.
Yeah, I would be rolling with him, seeing him drop off beta tapes, go to these white production houses. And he was rolling in a City Golf. And for me, it was like, damn, man, I loved it, So we were all feeding off each other, because like I was into eventing, hosting dope parties and stuff, and they were doing the music. At the time, I was not recording. I only started recording with Hilton at a later stage. So I just loved the whole movement. And then, so when they got popular, it's an ego thing, it's like, so Slicker has got an event in Tembisa. Tembisa is my hood. He had a tour, that ventilation tour that he had. So I'm staying in Vona Valley at the time, and I think I called like 20 people to come. You remember I used to roll with an entourage. So I've got 20 people, one of them is one of my honeys,
20 deep is a lot, man.
No, but listen up. So I think I was supposed to be on ka 11. We got there ka 11:30.
Okay.
And then we get there, you know, I was that guy, I would be everywhere. I don't have a car, but I'm everywhere, you know. Niggas come pick me up. Okay, we get to Tembisa, and yo, Slicker, yo, man, I'm late, man. Let me jump on. And Slicker's like, nah, Jay, your time is up. I'm thinking, dude,
Do you know who I am?
do you know who I am, bro? Like, this is my hood, dog.
Do you know where you are?
Actually. And you are discrediting me in my own turf. I don't say that to him, but I'm thinking, F this guy. F this guy. First thing, ne? Already. And then Squatter was, I think they were launching that album that has a clap song.
Yes.
That album that has a clap song.
Yes.
So there was some girl, she looked like Noni Gasa. Bold, freckles. She was beautiful. I was dating this girl. And so she gets on a Squatter Camp clap song video.
This story sounds so New York.
So I'm thinking, and like,
Media came out a video.
and then another girl also, you know. So now there's this honey of mine on a clap song, but I cannot put a finger, hore, ke mangi o assemble. You understand?
But why the assumption ya gore wa assemble? Because I mean video ke gore what? Hey,
Dog, we didn't play. Like we didn't play. Niggas were busy. Niggas were busy back then. There was no Twitter, no Facebook. Niggas were busy. You understand? So anyway. Okay, strike two.
Okay.
Katola, two. Nah. And then there's a time Lee Kasumba, she was supposed to interview me. I don't know what happened, you know? But for me, it always felt like, yo, you guys have got these favorite people of yours. You understand? Yes, I'm an independent artist, but you have these artists of yours that you are always putting on Harambe and all these shows of yours. What about other talent that needs to come out? Remember, already at the time, I'm the guy that's plugging other guys. When we were doing shows, we were putting everybody on. It was not just for us. Do you get what I mean? So my mentality has always been, hey dog, there's enough bread for everybody to eat.
Did you submit though?
Yeah?
Did you submit
Yeah,
to?
dude, Harambe was hating on me at the time. So I was like, oh, they are babies. I can't bang. I'm gonna hurt them. So it was not just Squatter Camp. It was Squatter Camp. It was H2O. Because every day when you listen to the radio, get H2O, it's wonderful, and get Pitch Black Afro. So Pitch Black Afro, there was a gig called Huzu, and I was supposed to perform. And then Cleo gets there. He tells the owner, yo, so Pitch Black Afro had just dropped that hit song of his. Pitch Black Afro. Dude, they give him my spot because he's more of a well-known artist. And I'm thinking, dude, do you know what it took for me to get here? And dog, you know, I used to be fresh, so I used to buy clothes, dog. If I was not buying clothes, I was going to a clothing store and negotiating with them to give me clothes. I'll bring them on Monday. I gotta look better than everybody.
You're working around the club price it in there or
You understand?
Yeah.
And Gio Pitch Black is taking my spot. So that's the fourth strike, actually. So when I put out the song, it was, okay.
So you took out everybody?
Yeah, it was H2O, it was Pitch Black Afro, it was Squatter Camp, it was Selvin, Mr. Selvin, and yeah. So that turned into a whole war.
Yeah, no, you are not
So-
tactful. You are not tactful there.
So
These,
I mean,
if you go from where I'm sitting, right?
yeah,
These are the people that are pushing the game forward to the fan.
yeah.
So you are struggling to get to a point where you are gaining that momentum.
Yes.
Who's gonna defend you?
Remember, this is coming. That's why I say, you remember when I was young, I was arrogant.
Sharp.
Everything was driven by ego. So it was not making sense for me. It was just the ego, you know. So at the time, remember, in as much as Squatter is popular, I'm seeing myself as this made guy anyway. You know, it's like I have my own muscle. You get what I mean? I have my own weight that I carried. I was like a movement, basically. You know, so it was driven by that more than anything. And it was like, you know what? I will show them who I am. You know, so you are this kid that feels entitled. I felt entitled. You get what I mean? I didn't know better, you know, but I guess it was the younger version of me. That's how hungry I was. It was the hunger.
Where did you drop the song?
Why?
No,
Where?
where? Like,
Oh, so
how did the song get around?
Omen gave me the beat. So Omen gave me a beat tape. The beat tape, it had the Soweto. I suppose the Soweto beat that Pro Kid, it was originally mine, and I just didn't use it. So he gave me a beat tape. It had like 16 beats, and then there was this song that became the diss song, and he told me how it goes. He was like, he named it "You Can't Touch Me," and that he was like, "Yo, this is more of you for you." So every time, just go, "You can't touch me, you can't touch me." So you rap, and "You can't touch me." So I went with that, right? And
Did he know that it was gonna be a beef tape?
no, he didn't know. So that ruined our relationship, because remember, he was producing for some of these guys, so his check was dependent on, you understand? So I was messing with his bread, you know.
It's now Nkaro and Alan, you cooking together.
Yeah, so he tuned me shit, man. He's like, nah, bruh. Like, he didn't want anything to do with me after that, you know. So you can imagine all these guys are signed with major record labels or major big independent companies, you know. From my understanding, there was red tape where don't play J Stash. Don't, you know, radio was not allowed to play me. You know, but I was so much of a fighter that, remember, I was the same guy that was doing events, plugging other artists. But now, I had artists that I had created platforms for telling me, "Yo, Jay, I cannot mess with you right now, or fail." You know?
Who are you booking now after this fallout?
Nobody wanted to mess with me, dog. Like, nobody. Like, I literally, this got to a point where I even felt suicidal, because when you listen to the radio, they were bashing me every day. Each given opportunity. I mean, how I got to know about Reason. Reason did a jingle on the Fresh and Tattoo show, dissing J Stash, and I caught wind. And then Dukes did a song, you know. And for me, it hurt, because it was like, yo, but I just plugged this guy with his first gig in Joburg, and now he's dissing me, you know.
Where do you think that was coming from?
When Dukes hopped on it,
Or was it the same thing?
it was not the same thing, but look, I just became an easy target for everybody that needed a platform. So everybody was like, yo, and not like J Stash, da 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 da, you know? I mean, there was a track where Marx was beefing with Kato, and, you know, there was a J Stash line in that song. So now I had to be calling niggas just to interpret, to get a better understanding. Are you? Yeah, because with the Marx we were good. You know, so are we good, or what's happening? But I was being a hypocrite because when I dropped the song, Sugar Smacks, he called me. Like after I dropped the song, he called me and he said, and no, I said, that what's up, with an attitude. Then Jabba sent me a text. He said, I respect what you're doing, but I'm not for it. That was Jabba, you know?
Hey, ya no, sa utlwa go lla di-cheese le yana. Ra spana mo morago mo le sa war. Sound e sharp mo sda. Ne, bana le rona.
So look, man, I called one of my guys who was working for Sunday World. I was like, yo, dude, I got a song, you know? I knew how to create a sensation, you know?
And they bana ba rata tsone tse.
Yeah, you know, like I call him up, we meet go Rose Bank. On the very same day, I meet up with DJ Spoo. I called him also. And we come from Tembisa together. So I was like, yo, dude, I've got a song. And Spoo at the time, he loves drama and controversy, you know? So I was just creating this controversy, you know? So I knew that I knew how to tell a story. I love telling stories. So being a storyteller is I'll go to the media and I'll create the sensation, and then media content, and then now we are going to radio, right? We are going to have the product that we spoke about. Do you get what I mean? And so on. So I hit up Spoo. He says, yo, let's hook up. Let's hook up. I hope it's only Mimos, more Rose Bank.
Yes.
We get to Mimos on regular Hunter's Dryly Pizza.
O tswa ka ditaba.
Yes, I got it.
And has Riley pizza inside ditaba.
Get out my dog. I've recorded this song. It's a squad that kept this song. That he's like, hey, serious. He's like, okay, I'm standing in for Fresh. I'll play it. Ne? He plays it on a Friday. It was a Good Friday. I think it was a Good Friday. Yeah, it was April. It doesn't get the response that we are anticipating. You know? You know what I do? So now I love marketing, bro. I love selling. So I already knew what to do. So on a Monday, I know Fresh is back, right? I call all the girls that I was dating. Get it?
How many girls are we talking here?
Probably 8 or 10. Right about 8 or 10. I was wild. I was a rock star.
Yeah, man.
I was a rock star.
Yeah.
So I call all the girls. Go fella, baspana. They are all working.
Sure.
They're employed.
So
get it, yo. Send an email to Fresh. Tell them you want to hear this J Stash song. You understand?
Yeah.
Then I hit up every nigga of mine that's got a job. So I was not a rapper that was rolling with rappers. I was a rapper that had friends that I employed. You get what I mean? So it worked in my favor because I could walk in certain spaces and get things done. You get what I mean? I knew, friends at the time, it was like, oh, I'm the guy they go to for the honeys, for the parties. I'm the guy that can bring a +10. You get what I'm saying? So it was a mutually beneficial relationship. So I knew they had resources I needed access to. You know, you guys are in the office, you got access to emails. You know, now imagine getting an email, somebody go Momentum, DJ Fresh, I want you to play the song by J Stash. And then the next one, Oko DSTV or multi-choice, whatever. You get what I mean? And probably we sent over 30 emails. And Fresh was like, they played the song twice, man. And that morning when he came back. And that's when it made the noise. It made the noise. That's when I got the calls. And that week it was a whole mess. You know? So unfortunately, I didn't have the smarts that I do have now to mitigate the aftermath, what it created. I didn't have the resources. I didn't have the strategy in place to understand, okay, how can I move with this hype? You understand? It became more emotional than anything because everybody was siding with Squatter, with every, you get what I mean? And it was like, yo, man, I just set a bomb on myself.
What was the outcome that you were expecting?
The outcome that I was expecting, I honestly don't know. I don't remember. It's one of those things, those incidents I can say, Jorge, it was good and bad because, like I said, at some point I felt suicidal. I had radio DJs, like they were harassing me. They were calling me like, F you, da 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 da. It became violent. There was a time, you know, we were invited to, we used to get invited to these fancy liquor events, you know. So we invited to one of those events, and I said some stuff about Wicked on a radio show. I said on DJ Fresh's show. I said Wicked is Amos' backup dancer, man. Like, you know.
You're so New York, man.
So he didn't take kind to that. And Wicked is from the hood, you know? And so his people wanted to have beef with my people at this event. We had mutual friends. That's how the fight didn't happen. Then we were at another event, then Flabber. So I had sent a text to Lebo, Sugar Smacks. I said, you guys are gonna shit bricks. You know? And then Flabber, they called me back.
You are such a villain, though. Like.
They called me back, and Flabber is like, Orange. I said, yo, nigga. It's like, hey, I'm not your nigga, man. I'm not your nigga. Get Flab. So now we bump into each other.
What is this?
It's at a venue. It used to be called the Venue in Rivonia. It was an event venue. So, Flabber one push, I cannot go toilet. Nagatsoi, one push. You know? Come to it. Ne? And then he does it again by the dance floor. He comes, come try. You know? I grab him, he grabs me. We were almost on each other. And then, because he was with people that I know, one of the guys, Nemza from Squatter,
Yeah.
and Kabom, and I forgot who else. There was like 3 of them. And, you know, Nemza, I looked at him different ever since that day. He held me, he said, Jay, I got nothing but love for you, but what you did was fucked up. What you did was fucked up, you know? And I got to understand that actually, you know what? I broke the bro code. These were my people. These were my friends. You understand? And I did it for what? For clout? I did it for what? For my feelings? You get what I'm saying? And there was so much to it, man. You know, friendships were broken. You know, and it was not nice to see it because we shared memories, man. We came far. you know, and it was all for the love of music. And now the music was turning us against each other, our egos. You get what I mean? It got so bad, man. Hype got involved. They tried to create a round table to get us to make peace. And whatnot. It was
But you
bad.
guys made it there
To hype.
to the round table.
Yeah, we made it. You know, I had said some stuff about Infa's girl on the song, and they're like, "Yo, Slick is like, why you gonna say these things?" Like, Jay, dude, we brothers, you know. But it was all ego. At the time, I was dominated by ego. I was not hearing anyone. I felt so entitled, and at a later stage, you know, I think at the time I had found love. So the love took me away from the game. And I just focused on this relationship and me and working on myself. I went back to studio. I was pushing my own hustles, you know, and things were a bit tough. You know, we lost some money. After that, you remember I once did this J-Stash launch. We were in debt, Joe, after that launch. We booked out a whole lodge. Go Walkerville. Dog, we were pushing moves that even record companies were not pushing. We were taking risks, you know? And it was crazy. We were just living for the moment, you know? And these things, they catch up with you, and you have to go back and recover and figure things out and figure how to move, you know? I remember the first time I got to perform with H2O and we made peace. You know, Jabba called me, go Pretoria. He was doing his Thursday.
Maybe Wednesday.
Yeah, was it Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and H2O was there, you know. It was not nice, man. You know, you see these brothers, we don't have the same background. So what the music means to them,
This is it.
that's it, boy. That's it. And I'm messing with that bread, boy. So I didn't understand these things. Do you get what I mean? I didn't understand these things. You are coming into the game, you want to dominate, it's ego. You know, but we are not cut from the same cloth, boy. We don't come from the same spaces. You know? To the next person, that's gold. You are probably the first person in the family to earn that much or to do so much. And somebody just comes and they mess up your bread. I didn't understand those things, you know? So, you remember there used to be Rhino Bar, right?
Yes.
The Naked
Brand.
Nights.
Yeah.
That was done by Ramesh. So we used to go to those every Thursday, and I bumped into Flabber. And I went to him, I said, dog, can we talk? Can we please go outside and talk? And we went outside, and I said, Flabber, I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry for what I did. He shook my hand, he hugged me. Ever since that day, I could call Flabber and he would come and perform it if I'm throwing a gig. You understand? As a favor. That's the love I had, but I messed up that love. Do you get what I'm saying? Sometimes we get blessed and we mess up our blessings because we want more. We want more. We are not content with what we have. You know? And so seeing myself come up the way I did, the mistakes that I've made, the mess ups, you know, and I look at some of these young people and I'm like, damn, man, they don't know. And for to you and I, we've seen people blow up and fall off. We've seen people, like the industry is not a friendly place. You are blessed to be where you are in your life. You are blessed to be capturing content, sharing stories, telling stories. You get what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons why I'm here. You know, to answer that blessing. You get what I mean? There's so many stories to share, but we outside just sharing those stories, I feel there's so much to teach. There's so much to educate a lot of young people that are caught up in the same cycle. It's that wheel that
And it's worse now, the social media, the cloud is now, it's quick. It's
we
like,
were lucky. We were lucky because some of these mistakes that we made, so there was no social media to report us or to make us look bad. You know, we are able to erase the past.
how did you get through the depression after the beef?
Like I said, I was in love. You know, I think the love more than anything, it gave me a son. It gave me a son. So everything I was doing was I was surviving for my son. You know, and surviving for my son, it was all about hustle now. You know, I was doing the music, hustling, kirekisa. You know, I would sell blankets. I would still do shows. I used to sell pirated DVDs and CDs. You know, like I made a living selling pirated DVDs and CDs. I had every petrol station you can think of in Gauteng. All these people were my clients. You know, I used to stock DVDs, Kopruma. I used to have, like, if you have if I have a friend with a computer, I can burn music. You know, it was just to survive. You know, and I made decent money from it. You know, just being in that space of survival mode, it allowed me, it opened up opportunities because I was living with the intention of growing, you know. So there were different doors that would open. I mean, I got into property. I tried working as a property agent. It didn't work out. Then some company took me.
Before you even finish that thought,
Yeah.
I struggle losing my hip hop language in corporate spaces.
Yeah.
And I can imagine you trying to sell me a house sounding like a rapper. I'm not buying that house.
And you know me, I used to be baggy, right?
Yeah,
I used to wear baggy jeans. I used to wear baggy jeans.
You looked it.
I didn't know how to even read the room. You know, it was hard, boy. It was hard. I think we took this hip hop thing too literal. You know, but to an extent, you know, we are the culture. It molded us and shaped us to be who we are today. Right now, everything I've achieved in my life, it's because hip hop formed me to have, it helped me to have these ideas. I was inspired by its surroundings. I was inspired by its heroes. You get what I'm saying? We just needed to learn how to adapt in different environments. So it was always hard. We didn't educate ourselves enough or apply ourselves, like you're saying, speaking like a rapper.
Crazy. Let's go back a bit.
Yeah,
So, the launch that you're talking about,
yeah,
I was obviously there. In fact, I was with you when you were pushing the launch.
yeah. I remember you were at the shop
Yeah.
in Campus Square.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you were the closest person to me that knew Pro Kid. And I remember Pro Kid performed
yeah,
at the launch.
yeah.
But here's the tricky one. This event was the launch of your album,
Yes.
but there was no album.
Yeah.
What was that about?
So this is what happened, right? Back then, you know Keoli, Kutlwano.
Yes,
You know Dichaba.
yes,
So Kutlwano and Dichaba were managing me.
yes,
They were my friends.
100%.
We were squatting, living in that place, go Melville.
Yes,
And we were sharing one bed. You know?
Yes.
So I was extravagant in terms of I loved showcasing. I loved presentation. This means if I had to do a launch, I'm not looking at anything less. I'm looking at more. You know? So a boy of mine reached out to me. So at the time, my parents were living in Walkerville. And in Walkerville, there was this lodge called La Bay. Beautiful. And I went to view it. Something in me told me I can pull off a launch here. I pictured myself as a star, you know? And I think also the me that hosts events, I like giving people an experience. You know, I don't believe in mediocre. You know, I just love creating experiences. And I felt this would be a beautiful experience. So I started pushing this launch. I was already recording music. I had music that was ready. But now, I think some of the music got lost with the other producers. So I had to start working with other guys. We started recording new music. And then, so we are working on music. I was doing everything myself. In as much as I had management, I was doing everything myself. My team was just supporting me. I'm not gonna disregard them and say they didn't lift a finger. There were things that they did. But when it came to the music, the run around, the getting things done, I was a one-man army, you know, and I think that was to my detriment because it didn't allow me to be as organized, you know, to be as prepared, you know. So, you get what I'm saying? And then, and you're trying to meet this deadline, and we started getting interviews. So I had relationships with the guys back on Metro, and I had relationships with AK, Go YFM, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do something that hasn't been done. I'm going to get Zach Dakile and AK to host my launch. So I started investing more time on the event than on finishing the music. Dude, I was supposed to get into studio with Lemonka at the time. I didn't make the time.
That's how blazing hot you were.
Dude, like, imagine Lemonka calling you saying, dude, I'm here, where are you?
Ajay.
And that's the only chance I had. I never got the chance ever again. You get what I mean? So I was more invested into putting together the show. Then I had a friend of mine, he was a trust fund kid. He's late now, rest in peace to Alfeo Mwenda. Alfeo, we were childhood friends. He was part of a hip hop legendary group called Invaders when we were kids. They were coming up like in the streets. So Alfredo was like, yo, Jay, I love your moves. I love everything that you're doing. I can put over 100K for your launch. Dude, that launch, we were in debt. We spent close to 100K on that launch. Like, the booze and food was free, was on the house. We had food, and this was at a time where rappers were not even blown up. It was just squatter camp, you know? So for me, I was more focused on the presentation. I was more focused on the image. And the music and the recording suffered. That by the time we didn't get to go to press on time, printing.
You didn't press, Jay.
You understand? We didn't get to get the...
You didn't press. And this upsets me because your album dropped 10 years, 15 years later.
Yeah.
After that launch.
Yeah, that's painful, man. That's painful.
So you can't say you are late after 15 years.
Yeah. No, so what happened after that, right? We did this event, and remember I'm saying we're now more focused on this event. And the music is suffering. Right? That by the time we have to go on with the launch because we've been promoting this on radio, You understand? There was a huge build-up for that launch, and everybody that's coming that I have on the lineup, they're about to blow up. Like we're all on the same level. At the time, we all had the same bars. You get what I'm saying?
Who was on the bill?
We had Pro Kid, we had Morafi, we had my man. He was signed under Ventilation Squatter Camp. And then we had DJ Dimples, we had Milkshake, we had MXO. Remember Aluta?
She was a poet.
No, Aluta was this vocalist. She had a song with Pitch Black Afro, Let's Make Love.
Oh yeah.
We got her all the way from the free stage, So we were pushing those type of moves without being signed, and the show had to go on. So Tasso hit me up. He said, yo, dude, I've got this guy. He's hot. He's new. Since you've got Morafi Kupa, listen to this boy. So like it took singer. Rego Campus Square. He was still in his Audi, the A3. And then we get in his car and he's playing me this boy. And then sing, guy, kappa. I'm like, damn, this is hard, So everybody got their chance to shine at that launch, and we don't have an album. It's embarrassing. We don't have an album, so it's just a show, basically. It's just a show. Then after, come Monday, we are being called by the venue. You owe us 57,000. Dude, we owed so many people money, man. Like we were in debt. Like my guy, being the trust fund kid, he was like, yo man, I'm gonna put in this much money. He didn't put all of it. Now I'm left with, cause I'm the face, So what Dad did, it just messed me up, man. And I had to keep a low profile. Now we've messed up the budget for the music being released. We messed it up on feeding people.
The launch that.
Yeah. You get what I mean? Then there was no conversation. Like we went back to the studio, but there was no money. There was no money to drop an album. And my bars was starting to fizzle. The guys are not calling me on radio anymore. And that Squatter This song happened a couple of months after that. Yeah.
So, with Lee, right? I feel like Lee was open to the game. And I feel like there must have been something or misunderstanding, or maybe your music didn't land on Harambe because she put on everybody.
Nah, I don't think so, boy. So there's a song I heard, it was called Ep.2. That song was #1 on Zach Tequila's Metro show. Like, dude, Zach hyped me up. I was there. I could be there with Touch on any given day when they were there, And it was not like I was paying DJs. They were feeding off my energy and what I was doing, the music that I was putting out, So it was not a Harambe type of song. Lee, she called me, right, this other time. It was an interview. So I put them on a corner. Like they couldn't say no. Because it's like, yo man, everybody is putting me on. How come you guys are not putting me on? So I gave her the song, Ep.2. The song that Hilton produced was more of a Harambe song. But they downplayed it. Then there was a song, I don't know if you know it. It was called Zoto. It spoke about a woman that was in Joburg. They were sleeping around with many different.
I know that song.
You remember that song, right? And that was a powerful song, you know. That song got me gigs. It put me in rooms, you know. And Harambe played it down. So me getting to this song, it was that frustration of, yo, dude, can I not be better? You guys, can I not be better to you? In your eyes, can I never be better? You get what I'm saying? So the Kadi Potsotso song was like a jiggy song. Rappers were not putting out songs like that at the time. You know, it was like a dance jiggy song. And dude, she's interviewing me. Before she interviews, they played the song. After, they laugh at the song. You're about to interview me. You just laughed at my song. Huh? You know? So I played it down. Leading to that Squatter Camp thing. Do you get what I mean? It was like, I just felt disrespected, basically. You know, and how I could hurt them was, I'm gonna hurt your boys. You know? But like I said, I was young. You know, my mature self would do things better. Yeah.
Our conversation is nice, and we haven't even scratched the surface. Then you get married. I mean, I'm jumping a lot of things.
Okay, it took a lot of years to get to the getting married part, you know.
Okay, let's talk about the growth where you see yourself, okay, cool. There's this challenge that is happening. I mean, there's a time where when your album finally came out, I think you even shot a video, there was Kalawa involved. We could all see the growth.
Yeah.
And obviously things were starting to shape up.
Yeah.
Because clearly the game is welcoming you back.
Yeah, I think that's why it took long for me to drop music, to drop a full project, because I had to spend the next 5-7 years explaining myself. It was always, yo, you the guy that did Squatter Camp, right? So I was no longer J Stash. I was J Stash, the guy that did Squatter Camp. You understand? So I had to do a lot of cleaning up, regaining some of these relationships that I had in the industry, getting my name to be back on brand. You know, it just took a whole lot. You need resources, you need capital, you know. I no longer had access to some of the things that I had access to, and I was no longer the same guy because I'm now a father, you know. So I'm not operating from a place of I don't care, I now care. I'm a dad, you know, and I became a family man, and the approach becomes different in the game. When you're a family man, you see life different. You know, you move different. But what I can tell you is artists are the most selfish people. Artists are the most selfish people. So I was still selfish. I was still ego-driven. I was still arrogant. I still needed to get rid of those demons. You understand? So, you know, there's a common friend we have, Mawetu. He once said something to me. It was so profound. He said, you know, the artists are arrogant. No, what's the word, man? Vain. They carry so much vanity. It takes so much vanity to expect the whole world to listen to you, to want to celebrate you. I don't know if you are understanding.
I get you.
You know? And we would get into those type of conversations, me and him, you know?
For who do you think you are, Wena?
Yeah.
How, especially like
You get what I'm saying? And And in most times, as you form cloud, as you form, you gain a following, you get celebrated in the music industry, it does inflate your head. Your head does get inflated. You just don't see, you know. The only difference with me, it was I was always that guy from childhood, you know. So I had to learn how to get rid of this guy, but I was not ready. I was not even honest enough with myself. So it was hindering with my growth, in me finding alignment, in understanding my purpose, because we all have a destined purpose, because the older you get to realize your different callings. You get to understand a lot of things. That even when people can succeed at certain things that you don't even get to that level, you are okay with it because you are content. You are not competing with other people, but yourself. So it took me this many years of self-molding and shedding off bohlaswa and different perspectives I had, different views I had, because for you to see life in a certain way, you have to let go of the old version of yourself, So letting go of the old version of me, it got me to be more open-minded that, hey, I can find success, but I don't have to find success as a rapper. So many of us, because we got to form this name, I got to be a J Stash, the world has to celebrate me as a rapper. And then other opportunities, they pass me. I'm not using other skills, other things that I know and understand how to progress. So that's why a lot of artists, they get stuck, because you are just trying to only grow as an artist. You can grow, you can own a butchery and grow. And that butchery can feed your music. You get what I'm saying? And your popularity can bring you traffic to your butchery. So people don't understand that science, that get married to the fact that before you are an artist, you're a human being, your mother gave you a name. Look out for that kid. You went to school, you got exposed to a lot of things. Use the knowledge that you have to build and grow yourself. So I got stuck in this artist up until I got to realize that, actually, I can do other things outside being this artist. And I got into business. I got my hands dirty. I was laughed at because when you are trying to bring something to life that people don't comprehend, they don't understand it, they shame you. They make you feel like you failed at being an artist. You understand? And that's why a lot of people, when the music is not making noise anymore, people are ashamed to face the world because they believe there's nothing else to do. So we never prepare ourselves to achieve beyond the music. We don't all have to be behind the microphone, though. Yeah.
What is your purpose?
My name is Matlakanye. Matlakanye means the uniter of nations. Throughout my whole life, I've gotten people together. Whether it was through events, through hosting things, through gatherings, I've always plugged people. I've always plugged you to the next guy, the next guy, the next guy, or a guy. I've got guys that are married because you met the woman. I've got guys that have kids. You understand? They were at my event, one night stand, pacha. Now you have a kid. You understand? So my purpose, Kimatlakanye. I'm the Uniter of Nations.
I'm glad that you're embracing your name, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. Currently, Poi Poi. I want to specifically talk about it because when I saw it, I was blown away.
Yeah.
Because I was in the game, yeah, merchandise with Jeba.
Yeah.
And you did it so amazingly well.
Yeah.
The graphics were nice, the texture, the quality was popping.
Yeah.
What inspired that?
What inspired Poi Poi was wanting to build something that was bigger than me. I spent my whole life trying to build this big me. And it was all about, I want something that can outlive me, something that can create jobs, something that can make South Africans be proud to be South Africans, something that can inspire many young people to feel like, oh, flip, man, I can do it too. You know, so I grew up loving fashion. I grew up loving nice clothes. I would save money just to buy nice clothes. Whether I was broke or not, I was always trying to get.
You're the flyest in the room.
You understand? So it's always been important to get the brand that you want, you know, and I believe in presentation. I've said this word so many times, you know, so when I started the brand, I thought to myself, I grew up wearing these type of clothing. I used to wear polo, Christian Dior, Pele Pele, you know. I want to create a brand that I would buy if I had money. You get what I mean? And it was inspired by, I had already prepared myself from being an independent artist. I was already selling. I was already forming relationships. You understand? I knew how to turn a fan into a client. Excuse me, I've got a sinus problem.
Yes.
So, my hunger of giving life to product, I'm inspired by giving life to brands, to products, you know, working on such projects. You know, that's why I think when I was coming up in the game, I liked plugging artists on because I had that hunger of seeing brands come to life. You know, so it extended into fashion, you know. So I made sure that, yo, man, it's gotta be quality. You know, I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning. I learned on the job. You know, when we started, we were selling customized caps, and then it was a numbers thing. I was selling them at 160. So I was delivering for free. Remember, I was driving this black Yaris. So it was good on petrol. So I could throw that in as an offer, you know, that I will deliver for free. Dog, I sometimes would drive to Pretoria just to deliver one cap that a person bought at 160. You understand? So I knew the science was to increase the numbers. That even when I deliver that one at 160, the numbers add up. They protect the trip. It makes sense. You get what I'm saying? It's a sales thing.
Customer who can buy again.
Pardon?
Because you have a satisfied customer
Yeah.
who can buy again because
Yeah.
they trust for it.
Yeah, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, and that, it grew into me getting 0 sales. It took me 3 to 6 months to get the first sale. Yeah. Dude, I was just hyping that up on social media. Nobody could care. It seemed like I'm making noise, basically. And that's what people don't understand, that you gotta believe in yourself. Whatever product you give life to, believe in it. People don't have to believe in it. You gotta believe in it. And the belief you have in it, that's what people buy into. People buy into that belief. You get what I'm saying? So I believed in it so much that I kept pushing that even when it was not making sense to people. You understand? And the first sale, dog, it was got December. I got 6 sales. Then I went from having 0 sales to now you're getting sales, 10 orders a day. All we were doing at the time were caps. You know, then I was moving over 100 caps a month. Then Share Publishing hit me up and they said, yo, we want to place an order for our clients. Can you make our own caps? Can you make us our own caps? I said, oh, cool, you know? It was my first big order. And then my second big order was the South African Hip Hop Awards. They're like, yo, Jay, we want to place an order for all the winning categories. Song of the year, whatnot, write Poi Poi on it. Dog.
I remember that.
Yeah, meaning what? Each and every big hip hop artist in this country, they're gonna be wearing a Poi Poi cap. Now remember, I told you we were on 0. I believed in it, right? And I pushed it long enough, right? It was not about, Hore, is it working or not? It was me believing in it, me fighting for it every day. It's the same thing as a relationship, marriage. When you govern marriage, when you govern your business, when you govern your brand with belief and faith, it will work out. And you must move with intention. You must be intentional. It will work out. So, fast forward, we got to sell over 20,000 caps. We got to get corporate orders from the South African hip hop gig. We were referred and we got to do uniforms for all branches for Hollard.
What?
I got to be in spaces like I started doing corporate clothing. But because I spent time educating myself, knowing suppliers, whatnot, that when that opportunity came, I was prepared to grab it. They said, can you make shirts? I said yes, but I couldn't. I couldn't, but I said yes. You understand? But I knew who to go to, you know? And the brand grew to a point that we were not ready for the growth, man. Yeah, we were not ready for the growth. The demand, it was countrywide. We do customized apparel. We do customized merchandise. You order a baseball shirt, we put your name on it. You order for you and your family, even your 1-year-old, we put their name on it. You know, so the whole structure, it was like you've given birth to this thing that you don't even understand. You didn't even know that it would grow to this point where you are servicing each and every township you can think of, each and every town or city you can think of across all these different provinces, you know, and it was overwhelming. You know, it got so overwhelming. I mean, we tapped into my love for hosting events. We started the Poi Poi Family Picnic, and like I told you, I love plugging people. We would have stalls. We also used to have other brands selling at our picnics. For me, I was not in competition with anybody. I was, my mentality has always been, I'm in competition with myself, you know. So whatever opportunities that I can create for others, I will do that. But sometimes we structure business with emotion. You understand? So even these events that I'm doing, these are passion projects. Poi Poi can afford them. I've lost over $500,000 on 3 Poi Poi family picnics. And then there was a ripple effect. It affected
to the
so
core
much
business, yeah.
of the business. You know, it was me doing what I didn't understand because I was just passionate. So a business cannot be run by passion. You need governance. It has to be governed by certain principles. And once you apply those principles that help in the day-to-day running of the business, you know? So there were a whole lot of challenges. I had to close shop and take a break for 2 years. And we are only just re-emerging now. You know, we're bringing the brand back. We've got beautiful designs. Our season will be 2026. You know, it's like I've got years of experience in education, years of mistakes, you know, years of knowing how to lose money. So now I know how not to lose money. You understand? So it's been fun, man. It's been fun because the brand has placed me, dog, it's open opportunities. Like the Poi Poi brand has allowed me to do jobs for big brands. Like when you talk beverages, dude, we've done promotional wear for some of the big brands that you see. You understand? And this is work we push in silence, you know. We push behind the scenes. I could say right now we're in a space of recovery. We're in a space of finding realignment. You spoke about marriage. I got divorced 3 years ago. My marriage fell apart. And I could say my marriage falling apart, I got to walk away with a lot of lessons. I feel when I was married, I didn't understand what I understand now. I wouldn't say I was intentional. And a lot of times we either get into relationships or we get into marriage, you wanted to have a beautiful outcome, but you are not showing up as you should for the outcome that you want. You understand? And this goes for everything. You know, so I've taken stock, I've gotten to learn so much in the past 3 years. It was painful. You know, you lose your family and you go through doubting yourself as a man, you know, feeling like you failed. And at the time, my business was going through a lot of problems, you know, so a shaky business, a shaky marriage, you get what I mean? And I got on my knees and I started praying. So I could say where I am right now, I've grown in the past 2 years. I've grown spiritually, emotionally, mentally. It's all been God. You understand? The guy that I was, that we just spoke about right now, he's a distant memory. You know, I could proudly say that I love the man that I've become and I love the man that I'm becoming. But it took a lot of mistakes. It took a lot of sacrifices, a lot of getting it wrong, a lot of failing people. You know, like in business, I failed clients. In my marriage, I failed my wife. I failed my son. You understand? It takes a whole lot of failing. Last year, around about this time, actually on this day last year, I lost my sister. And 3 weeks before that, I lost my dad. You know, so it's taken grief and pain, it's taken getting it wrong to get to where I am today, being in a space of, I'm on a high level on faith. Like everything I do, dog, today is with intention. You understand? If this was 4 years ago, we could have scheduled this, I would have probably double booked myself. I was too busy. And sometimes we are too busy with nothing. You get what I mean? With growth, with the growth that the business brought me or gave me, You get surrounded by people, you get celebrated. As you make progress, you get celebrated by people. People celebrate you. And you get clouded by people celebrating you. And you start living for people. You are seeking validation. You understand? So I've had to outgrow that man who was seeking validation. That man who was trying to be accepted by the world. You know, but there's pain and scars that come with that man. It's the childhood that I told you about, trying to fit in, wanting to be accepted by the black kids and the white kids. And you carry that as you grow as an adult. And you need to learn now to get rid of these toxic traits to how. And it's hard. And we don't teach young men, dog, showing up in the world and making it. It's not just about making money. It's about you learning to be a man of principle, a man of honor. You being able to believe in love and stand for love and be obedient to love. You get what I'm saying? Right now, we are clouded by the things that we desire, that we want. I'm able to screw you over because of my wants and needs. You get what I mean? I'm able to be in a relationship, and because of my wants and needs, I'm screwing over the person I'm in a relationship with. I get into marriage, the same thing. We are not intentional. You know, so I've gotten to learn so much, dog, in the past years. It took me going through rock bottom. I've just come out of my rock bottom. I was going through a rock bottom where I lost everything. And I saw the world laugh at me, and I saw people distance themselves from me. You get what I mean? And it was painful, but it was a necessary pain. Because that pain, it elevates you, dog. And once it elevates you, there's no turning back. Yeah.
Yo, first off, thank you for coming through, man. You always take my call. We talk. We might not be talking for a year or whatever, but whenever we talk, it's consistent. And
Yeah.
everything that I need from you, you holler. Everything that you need from me, same.
Yeah.
The relationship hasn't changed. Thank you so much. Yeah, man.
Look, I've got nothing but respect for you, Lemonka. Like, I think I've never really said this, you know. You know, there was a time, I will try to go back on the year. I think it was 2007. You and Jabba were booked at the Cape Town Jazz Festival. It was 2006 or 2007. I bumped into you. I was there for a holiday. And then you were there for the booking. Dude, you guys were pushing moves that nobody in hip-hop was pushing at the time. You know, Lemonka, you've always been humble. Like, throughout. You've always been humble. You've always been this guy that I don't think the industry has ever changed you in any way. You know, keep being that guy. You know, and what you're doing for Motswako, what you're doing for hip-hop, what you're doing for the culture is collectively, keep doing that, you know. And wherever we can plant seeds with whatever you're doing for it to move forward and beyond, we are here, you know. So just know, man, I appreciate you, brother. Yeah.
Ladies and gents, Chase Dash.
Okay, that's enough.